everyone. We are absolutely thrilled today to welcome Choje Lama to a discussion on distance learning, in a sense. This is spiritual teaching from afar in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Choje Lama is an esteemed and respected Kathmandu-based teacher. Recently, he has been giving a series of lectures on calling on the guru from afar. And this is a very unique set of verses that really help to clarify and enlighten students and on the vocation of being a follower of the guru. So Choje Lama, it's my pleasure to welcome you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So I have open here what you've been giving teachings on recently over Zoom. It's called Calling the Guru from Afar, a supplication to pierce your heart with devotion. Can you talk a little bit about why you decided to focus on this set of texts for your online class? And what was the principle behind it?
So the main reason that I started to give like a short talk on calling Lama from afar, there are quite a few texts on calling Lama from afar. There are some written by like even our Tangku Rinpoche, the very venerable Tangku Rinpoche has written one when he was when he was quite young, and he dedicated that to his precious or root guru, the 16th Karmapa. But the one we are going through is the one written by the first Jamgon Kongto Lotathai Rinpoche. And the main reason I thought I should be giving a talk on that is because these days, because of the corona pandemic, since everybody is in isolation and some of them are in quarantine, some of them they cannot fly, and because of this, most of the students are quite far from the guru. And when you are far from your guru or when you are far from loved ones, you feel little disconnected. So I just wanted to show them that it's not the physical distance that is the most important, it is the mental distance. So when we go through the text of calling Lama from afar, we feel more connected with our Lama. And then when we feel more connected with our Lama, then we try to follow his instruction. And that is like very, very important. So that is why I went through and I'm going through with this text.
That's wonderful. We'll talk a little bit about more specifically the text in just a moment, but just wanted to ask you more generally. Do you think the COVID-19 pandemic has basically fundamentally reshaped how Buddhist leaders, such as yourself, need to think about events and religious events of a similar sort, Dharma talks, ceremonies, festivals? What would you say has changed since last year, 2020, and now moving into 2021?
It has changed the dynamic of the teaching, but I think it is more like going to the old age where they were like direct teacher to student connection. Because these days, whenever we are teaching like in abroad, when there are so many students, sometimes we don't feel the connection because there are like 50 students, sometimes 100, sometimes 1,000, and sometimes few thousands also when like great lamas are teaching. And I think when we have that many students, then it's quite difficult to feel the connection between the teacher and student. But now because of this, most of the people and most of the lamas and most of the students, they have quite a lot of ample time. So they can give like teaching and sometimes like one-to-one, sometimes like maybe on a small group, 8 to 10%. And when we have like a smaller group, then I think it's more beneficial. Then we will be able to know how the students are reacting to the teaching or how they are understanding to the teaching. And then I think we are able to guide them more properly. But before, I think when we have like quite 100 or 200 students, it's almost impossible for us. But for like a great Lama, it might not be that impossible because they have great wisdom, great understanding. But someone very normal like us, it's very difficult for us to understand what the students are understanding or thinking about after the teaching.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Lama. So let's move specifically more to a focus on this body of this text that you have. And while we can't cover the whole thing in too much detail, this particular passage caught my eye. I quote, "Although my guru is the Buddha actually manifest, I think of him as simply human. I forget his kindness in imparting the profound instructions. If he doesn't give me what I want, I lose faith. I obscure myself by seeing his behavior through doubts and disdain. Guru, think of me, regard me with compassion. Bless me that my devotion may not fade but grow." So this verse seems to indicate a perennial teaching in the Vajrayana tradition, which is to see the guru as the node through which the Buddhist teachings pass through to students. And so, can you talk a little bit about the importance of the guru and the sort of traditional idea that the guru is uniquely important for this day and age, even in comparison to the Buddha, that kind of.
So, guru in Tibetan, we translate that guru into la ma. So there are two words in that, la and ma. And when we say la, it's like uncomparable, or which cannot be compared, or whom cannot be compared. So, and that is one aspect of guru. And when we are saying uncomparable, because the blessing that he gave, the uh, education that he gave, the wisdom that he gives to us, it cannot be compared to anyone. It cannot be compared to the past Buddhas, to the present Buddhas, or the future Buddhas. And uh, when we talk like this, then we don't have to mention about anybody else. So we believe that our guru cannot be compared to anyone. And the second aspect is ma. Ma means mother, and mother means more, like in general. When we talk about love, when we talk about compassion, everybody gives the example of the compassion that a mother shows to their kid. So it's very unique. It's very compassionate. Whenever a mother is giving love to the kid, they don't expect anything in return. So that is very pure love, pure compassion. So our guru is just like that. He has great compassion to us without expecting anything in return, and he shows us the way. And that is why we believe that our guru is the Buddha himself. And when we talk about Buddha, we do and pay respect to the Buddha. We do believe he is very, very important. And because he was the one who showed us all the way. And but the teaching that we have now was given by the Buddha almost 2,500 years back. We were not there, and we didn't get the teaching from Buddha himself. So when the Buddha gave the teaching, he gave to his 5 students, and then later he gave to his many different students, from kings to servants to ministers to everyone. He gave the teachings, but uh, uh, we were not alive back then, and we were not able to receive teaching from him, and we were not that fortunate to receive teaching from him. But uh, we did get the teaching, the same teaching that the Buddha gave. We are able to receive these teachings. And from whom do we get the teaching? We get these teaching from our guru. And the teaching that our guru gave and the teaching that the Buddha gave, there is no any difference. It's the exact same teachings. So that is why we believe that our guru is more important than the Buddha, or at least as important as the Buddha.
So very clearly, the relationship between a guru and the student is perhaps for a spiritual seeker or practitioner the defining relationship of
Yes.
their practice or their path. So it follows that choosing a guru is extremely important.
Yes.
While maybe some people are very fortunate and they meet a guru and the karmic affinity is very quick, it manifests very naturally. I think what's on everyone's minds is, how do I make a fair assessment of a guru as a contemporary channel of the Buddhist teachings, yet basically, he or she is also a human being. So, what is a fair, in your mind, what is a fair way for a student or for prospective student to look and find a suitable guru for them, for themselves?
Yeah. And to find a perfect guru is almost impossible for us, because we all of us know that this is the degenerate age. And when we mean degenerate, it doesn't mean that there are not any perfect gurus. There are so many perfect gurus. But one of the main problem is all these perfect gurus has so many students, so many disciples, and most of them cannot give you so much time. And it's almost quite impossible for us to see them all the time and then to receive teaching from them every day. And it's almost quite impossible. But we do have so many great teachers who, even though they are not perfect, they are still very, very good, very, very great. And sometimes I think we should not be too much greedy. And if we only look for the perfect guru, then we might not end up receiving so much teachings. What we can do is we can just check whether whether a guru is educated, qualified, and he has received teachings from his guru like that. And if he has received a lot of training, lots of education, then it's very, very good. And he or she has to be more educated than you. If the guru is less educated than you, then there's not much use, because you cannot learn from him or her. But if he is more educated than you, then you can definitely receive lots of education from him. And then the second aspect is like just when we talk about the Lama, then there's the Ma one, the compassion. The guru needs to have compassion to you. And if the guru has compassion on you, no matter what, he is going to help you. He is, even if he doesn't know, he will look for it, he will search for it, maybe he will look through the books, or maybe he will Google, and then he will try to help you as much as you can, so that you will be on the right path. So at the exact moment, maybe he will not know, but he will find it out, and then he will guide you because of the compassion that he has. So that is why I think if the guru is more educated than you, and then he has compassion to you, then I think it's quite meaningful for us to receive teaching from him and visualize him as our guru.
I see. Before we close off, I wanted to touch on something that you highlighted in passing, the notion of celebrity gurus. And while we fully appreciate the reasons why they have become so famous, because of their
Yeah,
wisdom, compassion, and their charisma, and their
yeah,
ability to spread Dharma across the world, right?
mhm,
I think a lot of them are themselves overwhelmed by their schedules, and the
mhm,
fact that they can't get into personal contact with the thousands or the tens of thousands of students that are technically sort of they've taken the precepts, or they've taken vows under these masters, I think it has led to a certain strange trend, I think. And so, would you say that integrity over celebrity? And so, you should find a teacher who is true to the Buddhist principles and not worry too much about their fame or their, some sort of artificial
Yeah.
judgment of how well known they are to other people.
And I think all these gurus who are very, very famous and who are like a celebrity, and I think they become very famous because they are tremendous gurus and they are highly educated. They have all these different powers or charisma or all this they possess. So that is why they became very, very famous and everybody pays huge respect to them. But yeah, it's okay for us to pay respect to them and receive teaching from them. But as we all know, they are quite busy and we do not get so much teachings from them all the time. And the most important is the teaching that you want, you cannot get from them. They will give the teaching that they think is appropriate according to their schedule. So sometimes it might not be the teaching that you want. And like I said before, and when they will be thinking about uh, one set of students, and because they are giving the teaching to them, and you need to join them, and then you have to receive the same teaching. And sometimes it might not be appropriate for you, but sometimes it might be appropriate. But it is still beneficial. But the main problem is when some of the students they think that I should only receive teaching from all these high called or highly respected gurus, and they are like, oh, I'm not going to receive any teaching from like normal teachers or not so famous ones, and then that brings in more ego in them, and they don't want to listen. And the teaching that the very high lamas give, they don't give it so often. So you can only get the teachings like maybe once a month or maybe like uh, 3 or 4 times a year. And that is not going to be enough for you. We need to give or we need to receive lots and lots of teachings. And someone like us, when we were studying in college, we received teachings for almost 6 hours every day. For like when I was studying, we had 5 years course, so we received teaching every day. And then I went to retreat, so we had 6 hours of class almost every day, and that is only the class, and we are not including the meditation we did in the retreat. So that was only the classes that we received. And sometimes people, when they think that, oh, I received teaching from this highly respected guru, so I should only receive from him, and then I'm not going to listen from any other teachers who are not so famous, then that is going to not be of that much help. So if any guru who is a little educated and who has some compassion, then I think it's very good for us to listen to them, and that is going to help us.
That's fantastic. So, in closing, Lama, would you say that you offering, these new online teachings and specifically focusing on this guru text is all about connection and accessibility at multiple levels? So not just between student and teacher, but also in the context of social distancing, long distance learning, and sort of bridging the distance between the physical distance between guru and student, which is inevitable these days. Is it about accessibility and
Yeah,
connection?
yeah. So the first time when I was giving this teaching, it was only for one person. So one of my friends requested, so I was also free, and I just gave the teaching, and it was one to one. But then later we thought, oh, maybe we can just record it, and we recorded, and then some other friends who like to listen, we can just forward to them. So that is quite useful. So that was why we did that, and then we are doing this teaching because we need to feel more connected with our guru. And we feel connected with our guru when we think, the more we think about him, the more we feel connected with our guru. And just as we behave very well when our parents are with us, behave very, very well. But when we are not with our parents, or when we are not with our teachers, when we were a kid, we try to behave differently. It's not only you, not only me, almost every one of us. When we are in front of our parents and teacher, we are a different person. And when we are not with them, then we are a different person, most of us. Only some of us are like equally in front and at the back. But when we recite this calling Lama from afar, and when we recite this more and more, we feel more connected with our Guru. And then we feel like he is right with me. And then the more you feel he is right with me, then the more it's embarrassing for you to do something that is not appropriate, because you feel that he is right in front of you. And it feels like your parent is right in front of you when you're a kid. And then you'll try to act quite decent here. And then the more you think your guru is right in front of you, the more you act decent. And the more you act decent, the more you are closer to becoming enlightened. So that is one of the main reasons we call our guru again and again. And yeah, we want to be with mentally close to him, not just physically. Physically is not that important. It's the mental aspect. And the more we think of him, the more we feel connected.
That's truly inspiring. And I really thank you for ending on that note. Lama, it was our pleasure to speak with you this evening. Thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting. And it was great talking to you and sharing whatever I know little.
Not at all.
And thank
Thank
you.
you so much. And if you like our content, please subscribe to our channel and give a like on this video. Thank you.